Hello everyone, I'm Dan and I'm outside this time. So I'm a bit late to this party, but recently Epic Games announced Fab, which is their new online marketplace for assets to do with game development, so any plugins or 3D models, textures, materials, sounds, that sort of thing. Now, normally I wouldn't pay too much attention because Epic Games does Epic Games things all the time. They're launching new marketplaces, their vision for Fortnite in the metaverse or whatever. I don't usually care. But this is interesting because it comes hot on the heels of Roblox's marketplace drama where creators don't feel like they're being valued enough. And of course, Epic Games mentioned Roblox on stage at their announcement, which is kind of like a perfectly timed sucker punch. Like, wow. Now, I'm aware that I'm late to the party, so I'm not going to reiterate what other people already said. Competition is good, yada yada yada. I think that it's fantastic that Roblox finally have some competition, and I expect this to improve things for us very, very quickly. But I think what some people miss in the hype is that this isn't all necessarily good. Because Epic Games is still a company and they're still not your friend. They're just doing this because they can get some market share out of it. Let us not forget Manticore Games and their whole thing with Epic, where they were trying to build a Roblox competitor. And they were trying to compete by undercutting Roblox massively using a predatory pricing scheme. Like, yeah, Roblox needs competition, but we have to be careful about what kind of competition Roblox is getting, because if it's the kind of competition that screws over creators in the long run, then that's not a good thing. So that's why when it comes to Fab, I'm kind of watching and waiting, because competition is good, but it has to be good competition, if you know what I mean. All of this is part of the reason why I like itch.io so much. It's the current marketplace of choice for me. I distribute lots of my plugins on there. I distributed Volumica on there to great success. And the reason why I like itch.io so much is that it is completely creator focused. For example, itch.io has an open revenue sharing model, which basically means that you get to set the revenue share. Most people set it to, I think it's a 90-10 split, but there's also the option for a 30% split or any percentage in between, even zero. That's because the whole idea of itch.io is that you give the platform how much you think the platform is worth, which I think is a very trusting sort of split. I know that on Roblox it probably wouldn't work because it's a bunch of 13-year-olds who don't value anything, so to set it like 100% revenue split and then Roblox will go bankrupt. But I think for a mature audience, that sort of thing's actually very empowering. I really, really like that they've done it that way. Because if anything, it kind of keeps their nose to the grindstone. Because if they cock up, we're just going to stop giving them revenue share. And if they remove that, then there's probably going to be massive uproar because they've already set the standard. But apart from just their open revenue sharing model, there are other things about itch.io which I quite like. For example, they've historically stood up for creators in a very sort of personal and empowering way. And they allow all sorts of content, they're very permissive. I've only heard fantastic things about their support, though they didn't respond to us when we wanted to ask them about setting up Roblox plugin integrations. But generally the support's been pretty good. It really does just feel like a creator-oriented marketplace where everyone has a common goal of making the world better by sharing their work. Everything is very reasonable there, which is why I like Itch so much and why I keep on recommending it to other people. But anyway, what can Roblox do in response to all of this? Because Roblox have definitely been asleep at the wheel here. I think that firstly, Roblox just needs to stop selling everything in Robux, because Robux is such a distorted and childish currency that it makes no sense for anything mature or development related. One of the worst things about Robux is that its price signaling is completely destroyed. For example, if I price something at 500 Robux, I'm going to get a slew of kids who say, wow, you're really overcharging for this. Even though in reality this is only like a couple of US dollars at best. The other thing that Robux isn't really good at doing is being transparent. For example, if I'm running a game development company and I want to buy some plugins for my team, well, you have to convert your US dollars into Robux, and then that Robux into plugins. And if you're an accountant and you have to follow that, you're basically dealing with two different currencies in one company. And it just becomes an organizational nightmare because, I mean, what are you going to tell your accountant? Oh yeah, like, I spent like £20 buying Robux with company funds. It doesn't make sense. And of course, all this is neglecting to mention that we don't really earn much from Robux because of DevEx rates. DevEx rates were originally designed in the context of people making games, so it kind of factors in all sorts of costs, like databases and multiplayer servers, which simple file hosting, in the case of models and plugins and stuff, just doesn't use. If Roblox wants to give us DevX rates for our plugins and models, then they have to provide DevX services. They have to provide us with the equivalent of databases and multiplayer servers, and they just aren't doing that because we don't need that. So really, the DevX rate is pretty inexcusable when it comes to things like selling models and plugins and stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense, nobody benefits except Roblox, and it's just a complete ripoff. So ultimately, I just think Roblox needs to sell in fiat. That's like the number one change they can do here, because developer tools and Robux just don't go well together. Fiat is easy because it's the money you already know and love. It just works the same way that regular value does. It doesn't have all these distortions introduced by Roblox's unique economy. But also, now that Roblox has competition, there's one of two things that they could do. The first thing they could do is work harder to keep their developer community engaged, which I hope that they do, because they've kind of been ignoring us for a very long time, as has been evident by the pin drop silence of the plugin marketplace program. But the other option they could unfortunately go for is just trying to lock Fab and all other competitors out. They could try and ban us from linking to these places, they can try and restrict local plugin installation and make us have to go through the Roblox marketplace. And if they do that, let's just say that Roblox aren't going to be making themselves any new friends. I love Roblox, and I really hope they don't do that. I don't think they have an intention to do that, but if they do, I'm going to hold them accountable. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the whole situation. Let's see a little bit more nature. So the £1 million question here is, what am I going to do? Because, I've already said that I'm not going to distribute on the Roblox marketplace anymore. Well, I'll check out Fab, I'll experiment with it because it's worth taking a look at, but ultimately I'm not making any guarantees. I'm pretty happy with itch.io and I still intend to distribute there, so we'll see, I guess. There's not really much that I can say without picking sides. I don't want to paint Epic in an overly favourable light or Roblox in a particularly unfavourable light. I'm not really aligned with either of them. After all, I am just Dan. I make stuff. I don't really care about company loyalty, I just care about which ones are doing the right thing and which ones aren't. So this is just a big watch this space, really. I'll check it out, I'll see what it's like. Hopefully it's alright, and hopefully this motivates Roblox to do something. Anyway, I've been Dan, and I'll see you guys back in the studio. Have fun.